Hey guys, how are you today? I hope you're okay today. Um, the first thing I want to say is to thank you to Diana for choosing me for being part of this interview. Um, Thank you for that, Diana. So, the first thing she asked me to do is to introduce myself, and I'm gonna start with my personal information. So, first of all, my full name is Daniela Colorado. Maybe some of you know me, maybe others know, but nice to meet you to all of you. Uh, I am originally from Calarca, Quindío, the coffee land, but my heart belonged to Florencia, Caquetá. So I moved in 2001, yeah, it was in 2001 when I moved to Florencia. And so I lived there the whole time until I moved here. I'm 27 years old. I moved here last year in 2017. But my journey started in 2013. So why I decided to come to the United States. So first of all, when I was studying at the university, well, actually I studied at the university. I started in 2009. Um, through the terms and talking to the teachers and to other former students, they talk about all the possibilities to come abroad to improve the English, to know the country, and blah blah blah. So I got interested around the year of 2013 because a friend who was doing a program here as an au pair. Most of you know that we got some programs as students or au pairs or nannies or whatever you want to call. So I decided to come as a nanny, as an au pair. So I get my J1 visa in 2013 in October, and I came here to live with an American family. I don't know if some of you are familiar with this program, but mostly the girls from the university, from the program, from the English program, have come to the United States through that program, which is very good, and I will recommend all the girls and the boys, of course, who wants to come through that program. It's really helpful. So that was my first launch to the United States. So I started with that, um, and what else? So what else I can do? I can say from that. So that was my first touch with the country in 2013. I came in October, as I told you, and I was full of questions and doubts, and I was really nervous because it was the first time. I mean, talking about moving from another culture, it was my second time because, as I told you, I moved from another different department. But this was the first amazing adventure that I have out of the country, getting to know another culture, getting to know another people, another customs is really overwhelming, but it was really interesting. Some of you know. So, Diana told me to talk about the cultural problems or communication problems or misunderstandings or um, language problems. Yes. So first of all, when you start doing this whole thing about a program, when you start thinking about traveling abroad, when you start doing all the paperwork, you start getting stressed because you have on your mind all these ideas about how you're gonna be there in the country. So you start thinking about how I'm gonna feel. Are the people over there gonna understand me? I mean, I don't know if some of you have um, experienced this, but most of us think about the other people, the people from other countries, that they are strange, that they, of course, it doesn't have to be like that, but we feel like they're gonna look at us look at us as weird people, like they are not going to understand us, they're gonna be racist. All of these ideas came into my mind at that time. So I started feeling very anxious about everything, but finally the day of my trip started. So when I first arrived to the airport at Miami, my very very first time facing a person was the guard from the airport. So he was like, the first thing, we as Latin American um, people, we are very emotional. We express our feelings. We're very talkative. We we really express our ideas and feelings. But to the other side, here, people are very strict. They are very sometimes you think they're rude, but it's their way, you know. So the very first time I faced the guard, he was like, "Welcome to the United States," and I was like, "Hi, I'm happy to be here." And he was like, "Oh, you're Colombian." And poof, he punched me the passport, and then he was like, "Take your passport and go." And I was like, "Really? This is how you greet a person from another country who's paying to come here, to stay here?" I was like, "Oh, that was very tough for me for the very first time." But anyways, I just kept going, and sorry, and when I first met my family, because I lived with an American family, I took care of children, so it was challenging all the time. I can say it was really challenge, but don't panic, because it's natural, the way you feel at the first time, the way you face the problems, the language disabilities, or uh, the language misunderstandings, is very very natural, and you don't have to feel ashamed, and you don't have to feel worried about, because it's natural, because you didn't born here, because we are not native. It's the same when they go to our countries, they feel like, and even they are not ashamed to talk or whatever they want to say, they just say it, they don't care about. But we, I don't know if it's because of our culture, I don't know if because it's something from our ancestors, but we always feel afraid. Every time I've seen everybody who comes here for the very first time, and they feel like, I don't want to talk, I don't want to I don't want to make myself feel like I don't know the language, and I don't want to be criticized. So don't panic, because that's the very first time. I will say the very first month, and even though we are so blessed because we study English, and you are in the at the end of your career, so you're very blessed because you know English. I mean, you're the best. You should be very proud of yourself. So, I want to keep going. So, as I said, don't panic yourself. You need to familiarize with the values, where you're gonna be. You're gonna need to familiarize with the laws, with everything. I mean, everything is new as we were babies. Everything was new. We learn from the lowest level to the highest. And as me, I am keep learning every time, every single time. I keep learning. Um, so I will say another problem with communication was trying to give my message, yes, and trying to listen from the other person. So, as I said, with the family, I had kids. I had to take care of kids, and they were like, "I don't care if you understand me." And but the one thing I had to do is was using my body language. You know, we are so expressive with our body, so that worked. The body language, or writing it down, or making a draw, whatever it takes to make yourself understand to the others. Okay. Um, Sometimes it's very tough to understand Americans because they have different slangs, they have different, total difference. Every country has differences, but this one is very special. So right now I'm working at a company, and I gotta tell you something. I studied English to be a teacher, but it doesn't mean that you study English just to be a teacher. If you guys have that willing to be a teacher, is very good, because at the very first time I did my practices as a teacher and I really really liked. But sometimes through your path you realize that you want to conquer um, different professions, whatever you wanna call them. So in this time, to be a teacher here, you need to get some special exams. You need to do some stuff in order to pass exams. You need to get certificates, so it's a long path here. So, but right now I'm working with a company, which is a very good company that sells lots of things. So I get hired here. I got hired here. So I don't know if some of you have heard about Target. Target is a big company, and well, that's just about my work right now. But English, studying English opens you a whole a whole thing and a whole broad of many things you want to do in life. Whether you want to be a teacher, whether you want to be, if you want to have your own business, anything is possible. But I will say thank you to my teachers back in the Amazonia University. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for all your effort, for all your eagerness. Thank you for everything, because I learned everything from there and from my other partners. Okay, period. So coming back to the problems with communication, it is very tough. So even though I know English and I have been for a while in the United States, it's so complicated sometimes for me to understand, especially with the slang. So I got a partner at my work who talks really fast, and sometimes he's talking to me and I was like, huh, what do you say? And he's like, oh, I realized that you didn't respond me, and you didn't say a word. So when that happens, every time I have to come to him and tell him, please let me know what you say again, please talk slowly, please write it down, or that kind of stuff. So every time is going to be difficult, but not impossible. um, so as to finish, because I don't know if I'm talking too much, but um, as I said, every time you come here from abroad, you're gonna have misunderstandings, problems with communications, but you need to make things happen. You need to get rid of all your schemas and all your thoughts about you're not gonna do it okay, about failing, about everything. I mean, This is a great opportunity for me to tell you about my experience that you have to, you have to travel abroad. All the people who are learning English, even if you are learning, if you even if you are studying at the university or an academy or whatever, you need to come to not to the United States. You can go wherever you want, but speak English. Even if you are with your partners, try to speak. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Because some when I started, and I admit, my very first touch with English was a failure at school. But back in the high school, ew, that was tough. I was like, "Hey teacher, I want to tell you that I found this word, and the word boyfriend, I found another word which is fiancé. So I got fiancé." And she was like, "You don't know that word." She didn't know that word either, but she was like, "No, you need to do boyfriend." And she was like very rude. So my very first touch with English was very complicated. So I hated at the first time. But when I started studying at the university, the whole thing changed. So make it happen. Uh, if you don't have money to pay for the programs, okay, there are plenty of programs who are going to sponsor you. Universities from here, companies, not only here in the United States. I got a friend who's now in Israel with a yeah, he got something like from a sponsor or something like that. But he everybody gets the chance to look for something, even if you are learning another language or whatever, not just English, because we all have problems with that. But conquer your dreams. I mean, I have been here. Oh, I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you where I lived. So I live in Chicago. Well, exactly not in Chicago City because it's a huge city. So the state is Illinois. The Chicago is the fancy city. It's like New York, but the fancy. So Chicago is a very good city. It is the very architectural city, and I live in the suburbs. Yes, so I live far from Chicago, like 40 minutes from Chicago, but it's really cute. The city here where I live right now is Palatine. It is called Palatine, Palatine, Palatine. So if you go to Google, you can find Palatine, and you are more than welcome to visit me sometimes if you wish to. And I'm gonna say that it's been an amazing time living here. It's been amazing to know people. Oh, that's another thing. When the first time I came, I said, "Oh, these people are very weird, and they're not gonna like me. They're gonna be afraid of me or whatever." But Americans are very cool. They're very friendly. They help you a lot. They make you feel like you fit. Well, sometimes in some states they will be like rude, like, don't bother me. But some of them are very nice. And I tell right now where I work, oh, they're fantastic with me. They treat me very well. So people from the University of Amazonia, keep studying, keep focus. Don't let your dreams go away. Just keep studying, keep doing the best you can. Keep learning from the teachers, from every single person who has come here. I personally don't think I'm going back to Colombia soon because I got a life here. I didn't tell you I got married. I got married to a Mexican boy. Um, but it is what it is. I live here. I liked here. I miss my family, yes, but by the time I overcome those communication problems, I start feeling like I fit here. So you're more than welcome to come here and visit me or whatever thing you want to do. And I hope this interview has helped a lot. Thank you so much for watching me, for listening me, and don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to talk. And if you want to contact me, just let Diana know. Okay. Have a good night or afternoon or morning, whatever you are now. And thank you for listening me again. And bye bye.